Hey everyone, it's Christy, and so today for my video schedule, we were going to talk about organizing your sewing room and giving you a tour of my studio. So here we are, we're in my studio and I'm going to give you the grand tour. So I hope you're ready. So my studio is at the back of the shop. So when we get to the back of the shop, you make this turn and you walk right in. So I've got a little half door. That's to keep Leroy Blue back in the office and not everywhere else. So I'm going to close it. Lock us in. And probably the first thing you will see in my studio is the resident beagle sleeping on his couch. There's Leroy Blue sleeping on his couch. And by the way, that is his couch. All right, so let's talk about my studio. So I have some nice, pretty decorative things on my wall, and I've got lots of cabinetry on this wall. So that way I can put all of my little knickknacks and personal memorabilia things, and then different books that I have, from, for me that I enjoy reading just on my own. And then I have a collection of quilting resource items here, TV for me to watch, whatever. And then I have a little tea station right here for my own personal enjoyment. And then back here is where I hide a lot of my UFOs in this back little cubby that nobody sees. And I use these plastic store-in totes right here for all of my unfinished projects. See, right there, that's my unfinished projects. Okay. And then I have a nice big cutting table. Sorry, I'm not the best cinema photographer. And it's a great organization because I can put my AccuCut there. I've got a pull-out for various threads. And I've got 6 good-sized drawers in here that I can hide a multitude of sinin. A multitude of sinin is hidden in those drawers. And then over here I've got a little storage station for some more UFOs, some teaching items, just general stuff. On my table is a just giant, huge mess. And this is like how I really live. So this is the real me. So I've got a project for next month that I've got a piece. I've got some samples I have to make, some samples I haven't finished, just some stuff, it's just a hodgepodge of stuff. And then over here I have my ironing station. And I took my quilt that was here to a show and it hasn't made it back yet. But this is my ironing station and a lot of shelves. So, it's all about storage and things I can hide with storage. And then I got this great little cart from Amazon. And it's just, of course, I bump it and it all falls over. But it's a great little cart that I can wheel out and put all kinds of things on it. So I have some short pieces of slat wall. And so let's talk about ruler organization for a minute. So on this short piece of slat wall, these are rulers that I use all the time. So this is going to be like my Tucker 3, my quick handy rulers. My Tucker 1 usually goes here, but it's probably on my cutting table. And that's where I keep all of my, I got to have it, got to use it, got to need it right this minute rulers, okay? My big rulers that are like ginormous, they're over here in this thing. And they're all laying flat down there. And I've got different sized rulers. Now, primarily the rulers I use are the Studio 180 rulers. And they are over here in this nice little rollabout cart that's all organized. So there you go. So other stuff, so as we're making our way around, this is my nice big huge design wall. And it's 6 foot wide, or 8 foot wide and 6 foot tall. And that's where I lay out all of my projects. And then I have another little caddy here that's got the wheels on it. And this I have all of my current projects that I'm working on. This is where I do embroidery work when I do it, which right now I don't do it very often. So, because just of time constraint. So this is my embroidery station. So at my sewing table, I've got this great little add-on item I just added, and we have that on our comment sold page, this Tidy Caddy, and it's great because all those little handy things I need, I store right there. And then I have a little ironing station right off the side of my sewing table, and then I have this nice big sewing table, And I had it's a set in. This piece is designed to fit your machine, so you have to tell them what machine you have, and they build this piece to fit your machine. And so it just sets in beautifully. And then it's got 3 big drawers, again, to hide a multitude of sin. This top drawer, this one is all dog treats. Yeah, Leroy's not spoiled at all. Okay, and then this is a little side off table as well. And I've just got some handy things, some dust blower otter, my candle, my remote control, some pens, that kind of stuff. Now, what's great about this table right here is this lift. This couch right here is real easy to move. I can just like push it out with my knee. And this little thing here can lift up. And when I'm putting binding on a ginormous king size quilt, I can open this up and I have another 3 feet of table space. So that's really cool. And this is what Leroy does most of the day, till about 2 o'clock. All right, so that's kind of a tour of my studio. So next we're going to do a little bit about organization. Hey, it's Christy. We're sitting down in my office and we're going to talk a little bit about how I organize things for various projects. There is always a need for organization, I believe, and we need to really focus on what's the best way to organize for what works with our mind. For example, I am very a person who likes a lot of order and a lot of structure and a lot of methodical approaches, logical and methodical approaches. However, I have learned in all of my years of working with people, both here in the quilting industry and in the defense industry and other places, everybody thinks differently, and a lot of people don't like the logical, methodical approach. They prefer, an explosion, and they know where everything is in that explosion. So you have to decide what is your best method, and then you need to stick with that method. Okay, so I'm going to show you my method that I use, and you can apply it in your own life, or you can alter it for what fits your world the best. So a while back, I had signed up to do this great big huge mystery quilt, and I was real excited about it, and I got all my fabric ordered in and whatnot. But it was a big project, and it was a project that was a lot of learning of new techniques. Okay, a lot of new techniques for me. Believe it or not, I don't know every technique in quilting because there's always new ones to be learned, and this was all new techniques that needed to be learned. All right, so what I had done was every month, I think it was, or every week, I can't remember the cycle, maybe it was every week, we got new instructions. So I got me a little 1-inch binder from Walmart, Amazon, wherever you want to go, and I put on the back of it what the name of the project was. So this is the Best of the 60s Mystery Quilt. And then inside of here, what I did is I printed out the patterns for each week. I guess it was every week. So in here is the pattern for this week 1, and then week 2, week 3. And I have them all together and all stapled. So as I'm working on them, I can pull out what section I'm working on. This stays in this folder until I'm done with the project. Now when I'm done with the project, the pattern can go in the file cabinet. And I do have a file cabinet I didn't show you because it's out in the storage area and it looks really hideous out there. But out in that storage area, I have a file cabinet of a lot of patterns. So once I've completed the pattern, I can put it back in storage. I don't need it anymore. There's no reference unless I'm going to use it for a reference later. Then what I have is I have gotten these really big clear boxes. Now you can get something very similar to this at Costco or on Amazon. Look in the scrapbook section of your shopping. So if it's something like scrapbook storage or something like that, that'll work for quilting. But it's a clear, large, clear box like this. And what I do then is all of my fabric, all of my blocks, everything that goes for this project stays in this box. If I'm working on it, it comes out of the box. When I'm done with it, it goes back in the box. It's like the toys of the grandbabies. You put the toys back in the toy box, okay? And then I have everything divided out with paper plates. So on my paper plates, I know what piece is what, okay? And it's all stacked together. See, this is my block. It's a 60-degree, 60-degree hexagons. And so everything is pieced together and it's all completed on the respective paper plates inside my box. Isn't that one cute? All right, and then all of the accessory fabric that I need, all of the additional fabric stays in my box. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays in my box. And so that box has all of my fabric I'm still using for the project. It has all of my pieces I've completed. And in a perfect world, if the box was about 3 inches taller, I'd been able to put my binder in it too, but I didn't. So that is the first thing I do is I divide, when I'm working on a project, it all goes into a box. All of it goes into a box. So the pattern, the fabric, everything into a box, and it stays in that box. So that way, if I want to take it upstairs to my apartment to work on, I just grab the box and go. If I want to take it out to my mom and dad's to work on, I just grab a box and go. If I'm going to a retreat, I grab a box, I go, say kind of thing. And I don't have to worry about, oh, well, I don't have that one piece of fabric, so I can't do any more. No, I don't need that one piece of fabric because that one piece of fabric's already in my box. I don't have to worry about it. All right, so for my Studio 180 stuff, I have this big, huge honkin' 4-inch plus binder. And what I have done with this is it is divided out by tool. So, and of course it's in alphabetical order because I'm nuts. All right, so every tool for Studio 180 has got its own tab. And then what I do is behind that tab, so for example, on the Studio 180 page, I can print out 8.5 by 11 instructions. Anybody can. It's part of their free downloads. So here is the instructions, and I put it into clear plastic page protectors so I can write on it with either dry erase markers or wet erase markers, and write on that as I'm working on a pattern. And I really want to stress real quick, that's a very excellent thing to stress, is when I'm working on a project, putting my pattern closed into these plastic sheet protectors is really a good idea, so that way I can write on it with a dry erase or a wet erase marker. And I can, just wipe it off or, put some Windex on it and spritz it off. It just helps me not to lose track of where I'm at. And then behind each instruction sheet is all of the technique sheets that Studio 180 has produced for all of their tools. So most every tool has a technique sheet to kind of add a level of complexity. All of this information is in this big, ginormous, huge purple notebook, and it gets added to on a regular basis because they're always coming out with something new. All right, now for I have several different things I do, because I travel and teach, because I do trunk shows, because I do all this other stuff. I, have different purposes for different things. So this may not apply to you, but then again, it may. So I have another huge binder here, and these are quilts that I have pieced specifically for my trunk shows. And again, I have taken the patterns and I have put the patterns in here in the plastic page protectors, and then I keep the patterns that I travel with in this book, so that way if we need to go back and make kits or something, we certainly have it available and it's handy. But I do keep all of these patterns in page protectors so I can make notes and stuff on them. Once I'm done with a pattern and I don't think I'm going to make it again, then it goes in the file cabinet. All right, because you never know. Someday I may make it again, but someday maybe in 10 years. So I don't want to get rid of it. And if you loan anything out to your quilting buddies, I have a friend of mine, I kid you not, she does this. It's like the library system. First off, all of her stuff is labeled, which is a good practice to have. You need to label all your stuff if you're going to loan it out. And the second thing she does is you write on her list of what you've taken out, and then that way she's like, I don't care if you keep it 5 years, but I just need to know who has it. So that way, if she needs it in the future, she can come back to you. Now, sometimes when I travel, I like to travel, especially if I'm going to a big event, a big quilt show, or a big purchasing event, and I'm going to be purchasing fabric from someplace else or for the shop or whatever. I want to have a notebook that I can put stuff in and take notes. So I have this small little notebook. It's eight. It's like 8.5 by 5.5. It's small. It's like they call it an A4 size. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what it's called, an A4 size. Now, when I was doing more traveling before COVID, I kept a lot of information in here. But what I have done is I have gotten these little page protectors that go in here. And if I'm traveling and I want to go into like some quilt shop that's, I've never been in before, and I'm looking for a particular piece of material for an upcoming project or something, I can slip in here the patterns that I'm hunting for. And then that way, I have that pattern handy, just like this one right here. There's a pattern in here to show you. I say, oh, I've got that pattern, and I can then say, oh, this is the colors I want to use. And then also, you can put a piece of paper behind that pattern or with that pattern that you can put little swatches on so you can match it should you have run out. I actually didn't come up with that idea, believe it or not. It's great to make friends with quilters no matter where you go. And I always love to talk to people and make friends with people. I was in a quilt shop in Kentucky, and these couple gals were in the same shop as I was, but they were from Wisconsin. And this woman had this kind of a book. And I started doing this before I even opened a shop. And she would, because of them being so rural, she could only buy fabric like when she'd go to the big shows. And we were all there for the Paducah show. And she had this notebook, and she had all of her projects that she was going to be working on in the coming months, all of its fabric requirements, all of everything just laid out. And I thought, oh, I need that in my life. I need this in my life. And so I started doing it. And it's been handy. But what's great, because it's a small size and it's lightweight, I can just throw it in my backpack. And I don't have to worry about, breaking the bank with a big, huge 3-inch binder. So those are some of the things that I do to help keep me organized. Share what you do. You never know. We can all learn from each other. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and have a great day. Bye.